Alright guys, today we're going to do the install of the JB1 on a Mk7 GTI. Alright, so here's one of the older JB1 modules. We're going to put it in here. Now first, there's a splash panel. So on the splash panel there's a couple screws in the front, along the side. So that splash panel is going to come down first so we can have access to the throttle pipe, which is under here in the front. So to get the splash panel off, we need T25 Torx to get those screws out. And I think that's the only tool you're really going to need, because everything else is just unplug the existing plugs and kind of splice them in with the JB1's plugs. First I took the splash panel off. Now I have a lift, so it's a little easier for me to go up and down. But if you're on jack stands, it really makes no difference because the car will be where you need it to anyway. But anyway, so JB1 on a GTI, I'll just slide the module in here for the sake of ease right now, but obviously you'll maybe want to mount that in a better spot, especially if you have a cap, one of the aftermarket caps. This won't be able to go in there, so you'll have to mount that somewhere else. But so that goes in there. Then you have a few different plugs here. So the first one I like to work with is the longest, which is why we took the splash panel off, which is this guy here. So this guy will run down. I usually just run it right down the front. I'm gonna probably put it in between this coolant line and the airbox and push that down, because that's gonna go on the throttle pipe at the bottom, which I will show you next. All right, so push that down. I just leave the other three up there, but now I'm going to jack it back up so that we can get to the throttle pipe. All right guys, so this right here is your throttle pipe coming out of your intercooler, coming back around. This is where your mass airflow sensor is. I don't know if you can see it up there. Let me see, get a better view. This plug right here. So now these plugs, the trick to these plugs is to actually push them in first, then pull up the snap, then pull them off. If you don't do that, you'll never get it off. So that's what we're going to do next. And then basically you're going to take this plug it back into the other end of this, which is your JB1, and then this original end goes back into where the sensor goes, and that's how you do that plug. And then I'll show you the top pieces. All right guys, all right, so now we're back up top. So take your valve cover off, because you're going to need to get to this one back here. So that's one that you'll need. You'll need this front one here. And then you'll need the one, there's like a chubbier one. There's two down here, but you'll need the chubbier one down the bottom. So we're taking that out. And then we're doing the same thing here that we did down the bottom. We're just taking the existing plugs out and splicing in the plugs for the JB1, and then putting that original plug back in the other side here. And then that's really it. And then once we get done, we'll pull everything tight so that nothing's hanging loose in the way the cooling fans. And that's pretty much it. I got my plugs in for one here. Split, one back here, split, and then my chubby guy down here. That one gets done, and now as you can see, everything's kind of like floating around here. So just what I usually do is just pull all these as far right as I can, and then I'm kind of gonna zip tie them together here. Really just this one stays pretty good where it needs to be. Just cover that back up. And then that one's fine. I might pull it a little bit tighter, but then I'll just probably cinch everything maybe right up to this. There's existing plugs here. Right down here, you could just zip tie it there, and then that's gonna be tight enough. These ones I'm not too worried about. It's more this one in the front that's running next to the fan. And then you just put your engine cover back on, and then take it out and rip. Got my JB1 in. That's all you had to do. So I have them zip tied here. There's a covered line right above the coolant line, so I made sure none of it was resting on the coolant line, get too hot. And then you know, you hide your plugs underneath your valve cover. Now on my R, I don't run my valve cover because it's too damn hot, so I might not run it on this either. But since it's just a JB1 and right now it's just my wife driving it, I'm okay with leaving it on. But yeah, that's it, you're done. So then you just start the car up and you go break some hearts.